Our headlines for tonight: Filipinos urged to prepare as Pag-asa warns of possible signal number 5 due to Typhoon Fongwong. More countries stand in solidarity with the Philippines amid Typhoon Tino casualties as the death toll hits nearly 200. Three former DPWH officials are facing 1.6 billion pesos tax evasion charges. Envoys on Manila Dialogue says security alliances are crucial in deterring aggression over the South China Sea. Teacher shot by a 6-year-old student in the United States has been awarded with 10 million US dollar. Good evening, bringing you the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN. PELOBELLO. This is Eurotv News Thread. The details on our broadcast: the country's Weather Bureau has warned the public of the possible threat brought by the approaching Super Typhoon Uwan with the international name Fongwong. Its winds threat could reach up to 185 kilometers per hour that might be under the tropical wind signal number 5. Riza Lopez has the report.
There is a strong possibility that Pag-asa will raise signal number 5 once Super Typhoon Uwan, internationally known as Fongwong, makes landfall in the Philippines. According to meteorologist Benison Estareja, under signal number 5, the typhoon brings heavy rainfall and sustained winds of up to 185 km per hour, posing as an extreme threat to life and property. Super typhoons of this strength can cause widespread flooding, landslide, and severe structural damage. Once Super Typhoon Uwan enters the Philippine landmass, the northern Bicol region, Aurora, and most parts of northern Luzon are expected to experience signal number 4 to signal number 5 condition.
Ang inaasahan po kasi ng mga wind signals doon sa mga mismong daraanan ng bagyo, regardless kung ito super typhoon or typhoon upon its passage, signal number 4 at saka signal number 5. So halos similar po yung magiging impacts dun sa mga lugar na yun. We're talking of northern Bicol region at ito rin pong Aurora and almost the entire northern Luzon. No? So yung impacts niya generally, yung magkakaroon ng severe damage dun sa mga bahay na yari lamang sa mga light materials. And even yung mga hindi ganun kahina or ganun ka medium or high risk na mga structures, possible din magkaroon ng mga damages.
Under signal number 4 and 5, houses made of light materials and even structures built with substandard materials may be completely destroyed. The typhoon could shatter glass windows, uproot trees and electric posts, and disrupt power supply and communication lines. It could also cause significant damage to crops. As of 2 o'clock p.m., severe tropical storm Fongwong was last spotted 1,215 km east of the Visayas. It now packs maximum sustained winds of 110 kilometers per hour and gustiness reaching up to 135 kilometers per hour, moving west-northwestward at 25 kilometers per hour. According to Estareja, the storm's wind circulation already spans 720 kilometers per hour, covering areas from Batanes to the northern tip of Zamboanga. Based on Pag-asa's official track, Fongwong is expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility tonight or early tomorrow morning. As it approaches land by Sunday, Pag-asa expects Uwan to further intensify into super typhoon.
Po natin, base sa ating latest track, we have to emphasize na ito po ay napakalaking bagyo. So ibig sabihin, as early as Saturday evening, mararamdaman na po yung mga pagbukso ng hangin dito sa may Bicol region, Eastern Visayas, and even yung mga nearby areas sa Caraga, dito sa may Central Visayas, at bahagi pa ng Mimaropa and Calabarzon.
The storm may landfall over Aurora or Isabela by Sunday night or early Monday morning. By Monday morning, Typhoon Uwan is forecast to move toward the West Philippine Sea. Pag-asa continues to remind local government units to closely monitor weather updates and ensure early preparations for the possible impact of the super typhoon. This is Criza Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Transportation Department assures to assist commuters and residents that will be affected by the Typhoon Uwan. The DOTR has likewise directed its attached agencies regarding the preparations for the super typhoon. Henry Nicolas reports.
The Department of Transportation and its attached agencies is now ready to assist commuters and residents who will be affected by the expected severe onslaught of Typhoon Uwan once it enters the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR Friday evening or Saturday morning. Acting Secretary Giovanni Lopez has ordered officials of the DOTR and its attached agencies to regularly provide status and assessment reports to determine what further steps the agency needs to take for a more effective emergency response. Lopez has also directed the Philippine Coast Guard, LTO, and the LTFRB to deploy buses, trucks, and vessels to help in the swift evacuation of residents and the delivery of relief goods. The PCG is also set to deploy additional personnel to assist the local government units with rescue and rehabilitation operations. The PCG, Philippine Ports Authority, and Cebu Ports Authority will also immediately implement a no-sail policy in areas that will be hit by the typhoon. The Secretary has also ordered ports and airports to provide food, drink, and medical assistance to stranded passengers. The toll fee is temporarily suspended for vehicles that will be used for emergency and rescue operations. Meanwhile, the DOTR also reminded airlines that they should not charge rebooking fees or additional charges and that passengers have the right to request a full refund for their cancelled flights if they choose. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority urges shopping malls across the region to provide an overnight free parking amid the threat of the approaching Super Typhoon Uwan. Catherine Landicho has more.
Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA Chairman Attorney Don Artes Jr. has appealed to shopping mall operators across Luzon to provide free overnight parking for motorists who may be affected by approaching Super Typhoon Uwan, which is expected to enter the Philippine Area of Responsibility this coming Saturday. According to Artes, this initiative would greatly help motorists, especially those living in low-lying areas that are prone to flooding once the typhoon hits. The measure aims to offer a safe place to park vehicles and prevent possible damage. The appeal is in line with President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s directive to implement proactive measures in preparations for the incoming typhoon. Meanwhile, Artes encouraged the public to stay tuned for the official announcement from shopping mall operators in Luzon regarding the specific areas that will participate in the free overnight parking program. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
The Interior and Local Government Department has ordered mandatory evacuation center in considered high-risk areas as severe tropical storm Fungwong approaches the Philippine Area of Responsibility as the national government implements a national state of calamity. Risa Lopez returns.
As the country braces for the impact of severe tropical storm Fungwong, the Department of Interior and As the country braces for the impact of severe tropical storm Fungwon, the Department of Interior and Local Government has ordered mandatory evacuation in high-risk areas. The directive was issued following the order of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. during a press briefing yesterday, instructing local governments to strengthen disaster preparedness ahead of a storm's landfall. According to the DILG, by Sunday, November 9, residents from flood and landslide-prone areas must already be safely evacuated to designated centers. The department also called on local chief executives to ensure the safety of all residents and prevent casualties during the calamity. Based on Pag-asa's latest forecast, STS Fungwon may landfall in northern or central Luzon by Monday, when it is expected to reach super typhoon intensity and be locally named Uwan. The DILG emphasized that the evacuation should not be delayed until conditions worsen. The agency also prohibited sea travel, tourist activities, and outdoor events in high-risk areas. On Thursday, the government declared a nationwide state of calamity due to the damage left by Typhoon Tino and the anticipated impact of STS Fungwong in Luzon and Visayas. LGUs were ordered to mobilize government resources and personnel to conduct road clearing operations in preparation for the typhoon. This is Griza Lopez for Eurotv News.
Some localities in northern Luzon implemented class and work suspensions on November 10 as the severe tropical storm Fungwong approaches the Philippine area of responsibility. Vanessa Cleophas reports.
The local government of Nagilian, La Union has promptly declared the suspension of classes at all levels in both public and private schools, as well as work in government offices on Monday, November 10, in preparation for the expected landfall of Typhoon Uwan this weekend, internationally known as Fungwong. According to the executive order issued by the LGU, a liquor ban will also be implemented in the municipality starting early Sunday morning. The local government will strictly enforce the no sailing, no fishing, and no swimming policies. Based on the latest report from the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA, the typhoon is expected to bring heavy rains and strong winds that could cause flooding, landslides, and rough sea condition in northern and central Luzon, including parts of La Union. Mayor Flores said the early suspension of classes and work aims to ensure the safety and preparedness of the residents. The executive order also directs all municipal departments, barangays, and concerned agencies to take proactive measures to minimize potential damage from the typhoon. Municipal personnel are currently conducting inspections and preparing evacuation centers for residents who may need to relocate. The Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council Emergency Operations Center will also be placed under Blue Alert status for 24 hours monitoring and coordination operations. This is Vanessa Cleophas for Eurotv News.
The Philippines Chief Executive has approved the decision of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council to implement a price freeze on all basic commodities as the national state of calamity has been imposed following the massive onslaught of the Typhoon Tino and the approaching Typhoon Fungwong. Graciela Corazon brings us the details.
After President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. announced upon approving the recommendation of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC to declare a state of national calamity in the country, the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI immediately implemented an automatic price freeze on all basic commodities. This follows the devastation caused by the Typhoon Tino and the government's preparation as severe tropical storm Fungwong, which will be named Typhoon 1, approaches the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR. According to a statement released by the DTI, as chair of National Price Coordinating Council or NPCC, the price freeze will take effect immediately on basic necessities and will remain in place for 60 days unless the President lifts it earlier. Meanwhile, the agency continues to coordinate with NPCC, implementing agencies to ensure consumers' protection during times of needs. The DTI also stated that it is ready, in collaboration with manufacturers, retailers, and distributors, to ensure sufficient supply nationwide in preparation for Typhoon Tino and Typhoon 1. Meanwhile, all DTI regional and provincial offices are on heightened alert to ensure they comply with the price freeze being implemented in the country. This is Graciela Corazon for Eurotv News.
The Social Security system opens calamity loan for its members who were hit by Typhoon Tino. The members can access the loan requirement online, which they can borrow up to 20,000 pesos. Catherine Landicho has the report.
Member of the Social Security System or SSS affected by Typhoon Tino in Cebu may now avail of the Calamity Loan Program to immediate financial assistance as the province continues to recover from severe damage. According to the SSS, interested members only need to submit an online application to access the aid. Under the program, qualified members may borrow up 20,000 pesos with an annual interest rate of 7% payable over 24 months. SSS President and Chief Executive Officer Robert Joseph Montes de Claro announced that the applications for the calamity loan will be accepted from November 6 to December 5 this year. The SSS Calamity Loan Program aims to provide prompt financial relief to the members heavily affected by calamities, helping them rebuild and recover more quickly. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
The Philippine Health Bureau is on full alert following the onslaught of Typhoon Tino, among those being monitored in the possible outbreak of the disease. Vanessa Cleophas has more.
The Department of Health or DOH has placed all of its operation nationwide under Code Blue Alert following the onslaught of Typhoon Tino, which left widespread damage in various areas. Under the Code Blue Alert, DOH has heightened the status of its regional offices and health facilities. More personnel from the agency have also been deployed to evacuation centers and health facilities in areas severely affected by Tino. Medicines, medical supplies, and mobile response teams are being quickly prepared for local government that may require them. The Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team or PMAT is also ready to set up temporary hospital tents in heavily affected areas to provide immediate medical attention to patients in need. Meanwhile, aside from assisting typhoon victims, the DOH is also focusing on individuals in evacuation centers who are experiencing fever, cough, colds, leptospirosis, and other infections, particularly in Eastern Visayas, including Biliran, Leyte, and Samar. The DOH is also conducting health assessments and field validations for other health commodities based on the needs of each local government unit. The declaration of Code Blue Alert comes after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s declaration of a national state of calamity. In line with this, DOH warned that 146 medicines in the country are under price freeze for 60 days following the declaration. This is Vanessa Cleophas for Eurotv News.
The death toll of Typhoon Tino now hits nearly 200, and hundreds of thousands of Filipinos were affected of the disaster. But more countries expressed their solidarity for the Philippines. Mia Layagin has more.
Following Typhoon Tino's exit within the Philippine Area of Responsibility, the evidence of its damages and casualties remained in the country, from which 188 people died. And while Philippines braced for another strong typhoon, some countries have expressed support and condolences with the Philippines and with the victims of the calamity. Sweden and Russia have both extended their condolences towards those affected by the typhoon, which particularly hit Cebu. On Thursday, Timor-Leste, the newest member of the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN, also shared grief and sympathy towards the Philippines. Aside from condolences, Timor-Leste have pledged to send 120-man team to the Philippines to help in the recovery and rehabilitation efforts on typhoon-hit areas. In a statement, the Department of Foreign Affairs have confirmed this pledge, from which 120 Timorese engineers and firefighters are expected to assist with the recovery measures. Washington, Canada, Australia, and Japan have also expressed readiness to extend and provide necessary support and assistance towards the Philippines. DFA have extended its gratitude towards these countries who stood in solidarity with the Philippines as it faces a calamity. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
The Department of Agriculture has lifted last May the importation ban placed on poultry products coming from the Netherlands following the December 2024 bird flu outbreak. Almost 6 months later, DA reimposes importation ban on poultry meat and similar products coming from the Netherlands after another bird flu outbreak. DA Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. said that in early October, an outbreak of H5N1 highly pathogenic avian influenza has reported in the Netherlands. Following the recommendations of the Bureau of Animal Industry, importation of poultry goods from the said country will be temporarily halted to prevent infection in local poultry industry. With this, the processing and issuance of sanitary and phytosanitary import clearances for poultry commodities from the said country are hereby suspended as well. Through the DA's memorandum order, products that have been in transit and loaded on or before September 22 will be allowed to enter the country. Three controversial public works and highways former officials are facing 1.6 billion pesos tax evasion charges filed by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Here's the full report.
Following the uncovering of the ghost and substandard flood control projects in the country, anomalies and corruption ties among contractors and some officials of the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH have been revealed as well. During the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee's flood control probe, the inquiry first centered on the alleged anomalous projects in Bulacan, linking names of three former DPWH engineers of the province, namely 1st District Engineer Henry Alcantara and former Assistant District Engineers Bryce Hernandez and JP Mendoza. Aside from the accusations tied with the anomaly itself, the Bureau of Internal Revenue also took a step to hold the three liable over tax liabilities. On Thursday, BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumagi Jr. personally filed the 1.6 billion pesos criminal charges against Alcantara, Hernandez, and Mendoza over unpaid taxes. BIR's lifestyle check revealed that the three individuals' properties, businesses, and casino transactions does not match up with their declared income and taxes. Lumagi emphasized that tax evasion and inaccurate disclosure of income tax returns are punishable under the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997. In this amount, Alcantara has 900 million pesos tax liabilities, 600 million pesos for Hernandez, while 180 million pesos from Mendoza. If the tax liabilities are not settled, properties of the three individuals may be seized by the agency. This is the second batch of criminal charges filed by BIR against individuals tied with the flood control scandal, with 10 cases amounting to over 8.8 billion pesos charged against those allegedly involved in the scheme. Lumagi underscored that BIR will continue its investigations, assuring that the tax of the people will not fall under the benefit of only few people. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
During the Manila Dialogue on the South China Sea, allied countries of the Philippines expresses concern over a more complex aggression of Chinese ships in the West Philippine Sea and insists the security alliances is important in deterring conflict in the Indo-Pacific region. Here is the report.
Envoys from Australia, Canada, France, Germany, and Japan have expressed concern over the rising tensions in the South China Sea, including the dangers posed by escalation, provocations, the collapse of rules-based order, and other incidents such as water cannoning within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. As the Manila Dialogue on the South China Sea continues, Japanese Ambassador to the Philippines Endo Kasuya said it is important to have allies in the region to increase coordination and demonstrate a shared determination to maintain the rules-based maritime order in the Indo-Pacific region.
How we can further enhance our cooperations with the Philippines in the maintenance of rules-based maritime order.
Canadian Ambassador to the Philippines David Hartman said the region's role is important and they cannot allow anything that disrupts peace.
The greater number of the members of the like-minded international community have continued to do is to continue to march in lockstep, to continue to press for the sanctity of international law, the rules-based order, and to reiterate to our respective peoples and to reiterate to the international community.
It reflects, I think, the fact of the growing alignment and worldview and interest between Australia and the Philippines. And all those sort of activities that I mentioned that are envisaged in which we'll do more together will obviously also have a dimension in the South China Sea in terms of our maritime cooperation, which I might say is extremely strong.
Former Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, on the other hand, said that China has agreed to join the arbitration that will be part of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. The Philippines hopes to finalize the declaration of conduct of parties on the South China Sea during the Manila's upcoming chairmanship for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, next year. Based on the final decision of the 2016 arbitration ruling, the country has been awarded an exclusive economic zone in the West Philippine Sea. But China continues not to abide the said decision. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
Virginia school teacher Abigail Werner has been shot inside the school premises on January of 2023. The suspect is a 6-year-old boy. 2 years later, Abigail has been rewarded with $10 million after revelations that an official from the school has been found guilty of negligence. Son Santiago has the details.
A former elementary teacher in the United States has been awarded $10 million or over 500 million pesos in damages after a jury found a former school official guilty of negligence. This is after ignorance of repeated warnings that a 6-year-old boy had brought a gun to Rich Neck Elementary School in the state of Virginia, which prompted the child to shoot her teacher, Abigail Werner, last January 6, 2023. The verdict was handed down on Thursday in favor of Werner, who was shot in the hand and chest inside the classroom. According to court documents, several teachers had already warned the accused, former assistant principal Ebony Parker, that the child was carrying a firearm in his backpack. Parker chose to ignore the warnings. During the trial, Werner's legal team argued that Parker, who did not testify in the court, had a duty to protect staff and students. Parker's camp, however, denied the responsibility. In their defense, Parker did not have a legal duty to protect the teacher as she did not volunteer to protect Werner. Thus, they claimed that her actions did not amount to gross negligence. But in the end, the court found her liable for the incident. This event is another part of the ongoing problem in the United States on school shootings. There have been 64 school shootings in the country this year as of October 27, according to CNN. Going back, Parker also faces separate criminal charges for 8 counts of felony child neglect. Meanwhile, the child's mother has already been sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison on charges of child neglect and illegal possession of firearms. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
American rock band Journey announces their Final Frontier tour next year, but the band has yet to announce the venue of their highly anticipated tour. Sam Marcos has the entertainment updates.
American rock band Journey has announced their Final Frontier tour that will take place next year. In their Instagram post, the group released the official poster showing the list of places they will be visiting for their concert tour. The tour will kick off in Hershey, Pennsylvania, followed by several other locations including Washington, D.C., Vancouver, Atlantic City in New Jersey, and many more. The band is known worldwide for their hit songs such as Open Arms, Faithfully, and Don't Stop Believin'. The group also includes Filipino singer Arnel Pineda as their lead vocalist. Meanwhile, tickets for Journey's Final Frontier tour will be available starting November 14, 2025. This is Sam Martos for Eurotv Showbiz News.
That's the latest news for tonight. You may visit eurotvph.com for more news and information. You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via Pinoy Stream channel. I am ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Thread. Stay safe. Have a good night, everyone. Happy weekend.